Hello, everybody. Chris Samardizch here, Brotherhood of Light Show, current YouTube channel. Anyway, what we're going to hit today is my Chris Samardizch concert experience, episode 5, 2000 to 2010. So let's get this thing rolling here. Hit the screen share and we'll get the slideshow going. And we're going to do the 10 years. So here we go. Okay, wait, what's this? All right, so here we go. We're happening right now. And so this first slide you're seeing here is Pete Rabinowitz and myself, who we both own the Brotherhood of Light. And we did this decade, episode 5. We pretty much did all the shows. And we, as you can see, there's a Allman Brothers light show on the left side of the screen. And there we are. We're tucked in at the Beacon Theater. That's our setup with the old MX-50 and computers and the digital presenter, Pete's doing live liquids. So I just want to give him credit because he was here for the whole thing. And we're going to move on to the next slide. So we ended up doing a Robert Plant tour, Strange Sensations. We did Doors of the 21st Century. We'll get into the members that were on that tour. And then with the Allman Brothers, we did two multiple Leonard Skinner tours, 2000. We basically did 2005 with them and pretty much a bunch of shows that year. And then we did this 2009 Beacon 40th year anniversary and with all kinds of guest stars and stuff. So now we're going to move on to the next slide. We're going to see the Allman Brothers in their current in their current lineup as of 2000. So Dickie Betts leaves the band, goes on with Great Southern with his son Dwayne, and so we end up hiring a guitar player for the summer. Jimmy Herring, the guy here on the right. I'm going to get my laser pointer going. Let's see if I can get that right now. Anyway, I'll just use this. Okay, laser pointer. There we go. All right, so here's Jimmy Herring here. He's from Aquarium Rescue Unit, and then he was playing with Jazz's dad, and he also played with Phil Lesh and Friends, which we'll get into in a bit. And so he filled in for the summer of 2001. We're going to see laminates also from these tours mixed with photographs. And we got, so this is basically Oteil Burbidge is the bass player, Derek Trucks and Warren Haynes are on guitars. Warren is also singing, and then Greg Allman, of course, is the lead vocalist. There's J-Mo, and here's Butch here. So this is the current lineup, which you're going to see through this decade. This is the band that I toured with. And there's Oteil playing there with our light show in the backdrop. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next. So here we are, and you can see here's our Robert Plant laminate from the Strange Sensations tour. We did about 6 weeks with him all over the East Coast. There he is, and he's, the great singer from Led Zeppelin, and they did like 4 or 5 Led Zeppelin songs. They did a bunch of really cool stuff, like 7 and 7 Is, which is a love song, and they did, let's see, Season of the Witch, and just a bunch of really cool, Hey Joe, they did Hey Joe, and Morning Dew. So they did like these 60s covers and then some Led Zeppelin stuff. Okay, so now here's the laminates from that 2000 summer tour that Jimmy was on, and here's a Phil Lesh laminate. This is actually a different year. And then previous to the year before, the last show we did was one for Woody. He had passed away, and that's why Warren was in the band. And so that's the one for Woody laminate, which was in my last episode. So we're going to move on to the next page. Okay, so that was a fun tour we did with him. And here we go. So now we started doing a bunch of shows with Phil Lesh and friends, and Warren is in the band, and so is Jimmy, and John Molo and Bob Baracco. I'm correcting, and I said John Baracco last time. And here's Phil Lesh, and here he is playing his custom bass. And so we did Phil Lesh Friends New Year's Eve, 2000 to 2001, which was a great Kaiser, which was where the Dead used to play. So it was really a big deal for me. And now here's the laminates from the Allman Brothers 2001 tour. And once again, Kirk West designs all these laminates for the Allman Brothers. So I want to give him credit for that. And here's another Phil Lesh and Friends 2002. They were opening up for us with the Allman Brothers. We also did a bunch of shows at Maritime Hall with them one of those years. Okay. So then 9/11 happens. We got the new band, and this was called the this is where the World Trade Center used to be, and they had these lights to replace where the two buildings were. And this is a crew, a bunch of people that are worked with the band and are family friends. There's Pete, he worked on the magazine. There's Pete Rabinowitz, my partner, which I showed him. There's Kristen King. There's I can't remember her name, but she designed this poster. Stacy and Brian are holding the poster. And then there's Jim Rehill. He's a good friend of mine still. He's a taper, really cool. And then, of course, there's Greg, and he's healthy, and we're going to start touring. And we're kind of going in a little different direction than we were previously. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. All right, so then simultaneous to this, we get hired to do this Alpine Valley with the other ones, which is a basic Grateful Dead reunion. And there's the two laminates right there. And also I did a string cheese that New Year's. And then we get hired to do these. And here's another Other Ones tour. And then they turned into the Dead on the following year. And then we started touring with this Doors of the 21st Century, which is the two original members are Ray Manzarek and Robbie Krieger. So also I'm going to go to the next page, and here's Ian Asberry. He's from the Cult, and a well-known artist on his own, but has the great voice similar to Jim Morrison. Great guy to fill in. And here's the three of them. We're in Portugal. We toured in Europe with them. We also did the Kodak Theater for New Year's, and they had great laminates. These are all Doors laminates. This one, that one, that one, that one. There's a backstage pass, and this is one with Charlie Manson, the newspaper article. So the guy Tom Vinorino was very creative with the laminates for that tour. We had a lot of them for each individual leg, and as you can still see, there's more. Here's our Europe tour that we did in the winter, and we ended up playing in Spain, and then we went to England and did Wembley, and then we went to France on Jim Morrison's birthday, and then where did we go to? Oh no, I guess we went to Portugal before that, and we went to Belgium, and then back to England, and back home to Birmingham. And here's another Allman Brothers pass from that year, and here's more Doors passes, and then here's the Dead All Access pass. So we were touring with the Doors right here, the Dead, there's our light show, and then Jimmy Herring now is guitar player of the Dead with Bob Weir. And this particular show right here was on Jerry's birthday, 8/1/03, and this tornado came down. We're driving up in the van, and it just blew through all the chairs, these fold-up chairs that were in this drag strip with bleachers, and it just tore the back of the stage completely off, which was more like a scaffolding. So you can see it's just really all weirded out, all the plastics blown out. And directly underneath it, where these guys are, is where all the equipment is being staged to go on stage, including our projection gear and all the, Dead's amplifiers and guitars and everything. But anyway, we ended up doing the show, but it was quite a crazy day. So that was a crazy triple tour. We somehow pulled it off, doing all three bands one year. All right, so now they just released Live at Great Woods, and that was recorded from a TV show, and it was on a VHS tape originally, but now it's on DVD. And so that's the cover, and then Kirk West did the photograph, and then here's the Doors, LA Woman Live, and that's a DVD. So we were on a couple DVDs that year, which was cool because they were in back then. That was the media of the choice of media. So here's the next. Now we're still touring with the Doors off and on. I got another crew out there doing it, and I'm doing it sometimes when they can't. And then we do this 2004 Leonard Skinner tour. I think it was 2005, but anyway. So we end up, now we're touring with Leonard Skinner for 2005. And this is the two guitar players and Greg Allman. So, and then we went and we were playing the Brigada and Van Halen were there. So we went to the show. So it was just another pass for the collection. And here's the Doors, one of the Doors laminates again. Okay, so then now this is the tour. This is one poster from, I guess it was 2004, according to these. So I thought it was 2005. Oops. And this was really the band right here that we were with, which Powell, the keyboard player, and this guy Stewie from the Outlaws was there, and the bass player, I don't know where he is, from, I guess he's not in the picture, from Blackfoot, but all three of those guys died the next year, and so they got new people, and that's the other tour, and here they are. There's a new keyboard player, other guitar player, new bass player. So that was kind of a tragedy, definitely, but it was a great band to tour with. We had a lot of fun. We did really well selling shows, double bill, Southern rock. It was cool. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now here we are. So the Allman Brothers put out their Hitting the Note album, and this is the laminate from that year. This is the band that we toured with, you saw earlier, and this is kind of what our light show looked like at that point. We had a big, like 6K projector we hit the screen with, and we were still projecting, but it was, it looked pretty good, as you can see in this picture. So we're going to move on to the next one. So now we're still touring with the Doors in 2005, and this is the next laminate we got. That's 2005 laminate. The big house is now, we did a benefit for them that year at the Beacon, and there's the Doors pass, and here's the Leonard Skinner Allman Brothers All Access pass. And then that year we did Wani. That's our first Wani show, so that's pretty cool. And then this was a show we did 2 days up at Niagara Falls, and then I met Indian Larry. He's a famous motorcycle builder. He built this root beer bike here and out of New York City area, and he came out, went to the show, and hung out with me, and he ended up getting in a motorcycle accident and dying that year. Really, really tragic, but I thought I'd throw him in there because he was such a cool guy. I really dug him a lot. He's a creative artist type character, similar to what I do. He was, he was type of person that, I really dug because he just used his hands to create art, and these bikes were definitely art. This is Jimmy sitting in with us at Wani, and we're projecting again with that 5K projector. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, so then that tour ended that year, and we went back, and we did a couple different events, but this is the Summer of Love pass at Golden Gate Park, and I have my mixing station next to the stage. There's me mixing. That's Mario Cipollina, and there was like 80,000 people there, and we had big video walls that we projected on, and mixed the band and art together, and I was kind of the final mixer guy. And then that year, well, or I don't know, these are all in chronicle. We did the exotic erotic ball also that fall. And then the other thing I did was this government mule winter of love. And that was, it was the end of 2006 and a New Year's in 2007. They flew me out for the Beacon and I did that show, which was really cool. Okay. So here we are. These are the Chet Helms benefits we did in Golden Gate Park. Here's another exotic erotic 2006. And then I started doing these giant raves, these skills raves at Pilgrim Civic. And we would just project all over with many rooms. Here's a 2006 pass that Kirk West designed. Here's another Wani pass. And here's an older pass that we had. So, and you know, for people that kind of like to see these laminates, it's a cool thing to see here. So next, let's move on. All right. So now we're kind of skipping to 2009 and we did Mountain Jam up at the ski resort up in New York. And here's a picture of Mountain Jam right here. Wow, I'm getting the laser pointer, I'm getting both. Anyway, so here it is. And that's projection. Again, we don't have the video wall, but now we've stepped into a video wall and you can see in this shot how much brighter it is and how beautiful it looks. So we started using a video wall, which was great. And this pass right here, there's a series of passes from the whole year. And this is Wani again, another Wani pass. And there's Greg with our big 3D mushroom spinning around. You can see that that's on a video wall, how three-dimensional that looks. So you know, we stepped into a different world now. And once again, here is the 40th anniversary DVD that came out from that show, which you can buy March 26th. And it's Derek Trucks, the guitar player, slide guitar player. And there's Dwayne Allman on our video wall behind him. I just like that shot. I think it really shows how intense the video wall is and how it really reads really well. Okay, so that year, all these passes here on the right were for different legs of the tour. Like this was the southern leg, this was the East Coast leg, you know, this one was a West Coast leg. And we also did some work with Government Mule. And one of our opening acts was Widespread Panic. And here's a couple guys from members of Widespread. So I thought I'd throw them in there. JD is a guitar player, singer. Anyway, and so we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, now also on one of the legs, we had the Doobie Brothers with us. And here's their pass in 2009. And here's one of our 40th year passes. Again, there's so many. We also did some shows with the Dead. So I got this Dead pass. We were just there. We didn't do a light show. This is our light show at the Beacon, again, which is the classic mushroom. And this is the infamous poster from the Beacon 1969 to 2009. There was all these artists involved on this show. Eric Clapton played for 2 nights with us. Johnny Winter, let's see, 2 members of the Grateful Dead, Phil Lesh and Bob Weir, sat in for a second set. 2 guys from Widespread Panic sat in. A couple guys from Fish one night. Sheryl Crow, Boss Skaggs, Buddy Guy, Bonnie of Delaney and Bonnie, who played with Dwayne Allman. So it was pretty amazing, the amount of artists that we had on the bill. Tommy Tolton from Cowboy sat in with us. So it was just kind of like anybody who ever played with the Allman Brothers could come and sit in. And it was great. Elvin Bishop also, I believe. Okay, let's move on. So here's the Eric Clapton show. That's the Kirk West photo. And there's Eric and there's our light show. And then they did a Jimi Hendrix tune one night. So we put some Hendrix psychedelic up there. Just crazy light shows. And of course the Eat a Peach logo, which is a classic. And So these are all from the Beacon, and that's just our favorite venue. We would play 15 shows there. I think this audience that's going to see this will probably know that. But if you don't, we would do every March, from March 1st to like the 20th, we'd do 12 to 18 shows one year. And we did that for like 19 years straight or 18 years straight. It was, or maybe more actually, because I toured with the Allman Brothers for 25 years. So we did a lot of them, a lot of Beacon runs, and it was great. It was just a pilgrimage that the fans made every year to come to New York and see them in March. Okay, so now this is the kind of final one. Here's a Wani we did. Here is the 2010 All Access Pass. I did some shows with Government Mule, so I got their passes, and then we did the One for Woody 10-year benefit. So this was we started out with One for Woody, now we end up with One for Woody. His daughter sat in and sang Soul Shine, Savannah. And this is Government Mule right here. And this is the One for Woody picture right here, and honoring him. There he is with his big bass. And then the 2011 pass right here on the right was a Hep C benefit that we did in conjunction with Greg Allman, because he had a problem with Hep C. So he did a benefit. And so that started to kick off the 2011 year. So that's basically the show. I'm going to go back to me. And so anyway, that was the touring decade when we did all these bands. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll be doing, I don't know, I may do the next decade in the next month or 2 or 6 months, who knows. But I'm going to be doing some more shows. I'm going to probably be doing shows with different people that I tour with, and different people that work in the industry, kind of roadies, or, people that have done publication, things like that. I'm going to try to expand to more of a rock and roll storytelling with guests. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Check it out obviously you'll be checking it out on Brotherhood of Light Current and episode 5. Thanks a lot.